Okay, this is an open meeting of the Berlin Historical Commission. It is August 14th, and it's 10:22. Present, we are being recorded and videoed.
Everybody is subject to being recorded.
Yeah. And present, Barry, Ager, and Eleanor
Here.
Bergen, and myself, June Miller. Okay, your minutes, let's take up the minutes that Ellie sent to us.
9th and the 24th.
The 9th could be filed under notes or whatever.
Yeah, I think I put notes on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
The one thing in there is that D. Green is not from the selectmen. D. Green is the assistant to the town administrator.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so can we have a motion to approve the notes with that one change?
So moved.
Seconded?
Aye.
Okay, all those in favor?
All right.
Okay. Unanimously approved. Okay, then the 24th, the minutes for the 24th, those are fine for me. Did you have any?
Move to approve.
Okay, a second?
I second.
Okay, all those in favor?
All right.
Aye, unanimously approved. Thanks for doing that, Ellie. Okay. So let's go right to the policy that's been proposed to us by our liaison, Lisa Wysocki. It's for stewardship and management policy of the historical collection. And Barry, I think you have an umbrella comment.
Well, the umbrella comment is that there's no mention of the Historical Society. And while I know that that's not specifically town government, it is, the collection has always been a public-private partnership with the Berlin Art and Historical Society providing a major role in it, and they've provided funding, they've provided as well as a lot of labor and unpaid volunteer labor. And at times they've done far more than the people sitting on the commission on a lot of these issues. And they've funded significantly. I mean, for instance, the previous computer, the one we retired last year, was purchased by the Historical Society, $2,000 worth. And they bought the software, and they bought the software when we got this new computer as well. They paid for the software. So they're the ones that are in touch with the, what's the name of the company?
Past Perfect.
Past Perfect. They're the ones that hold the license for the Past Perfect software because they're the ones that paid for it. And we have that kind of public-private partnership going on all the time in all of our operations. So I don't. I'm concerned that we haven't. That there's no mention of that, and that we've got to make room for that in this because it without it, it's that much more difficult to do anything.
Also, the custodial committee.
Yeah, the custodial committee is the society's thing, and for instance, the clothing thing that we had going, we had 3 or 4 volunteers that we had beyond ourselves working on that, and a couple of them are senior work-off people under the town, but some of the others are not, and they gave us lots and lots of time and work, and they have, as a result of it all, they have knowledge which contributes to the ongoing care of things and so on. And all those people, will be rung in on things to do with that collection from henceforth. And undoubtedly some other people too. I didn't mention, a couple of more people actually that were involved. So that's part of the thing of where we get our volunteers and how those things work. And it's, as well as significant resources. I mean, when the Bullitt House was purchased, the society put $25,000 into the purchase price and has spent a lot of money on the house since. Most of the renovation and stuff costs have been from there until we finally started getting CPA money. Well, we did have
Mitigation.
some mitigation funds from the Highland Commons. But that's, the collection without the society would be a wholly different thing in terms of how it's handled for the town. Either the town would have to put a lot more money into it or hire employees or something else, because that's what we depend on. And yet, the way that this policy is worded is very heavily toward an unpaid historical commission whose hands are going to be tied by all of this government rules and regulation stuff. I know that we have to work within state law. I know that we have to handle things carefully in that regard, but it's the volunteers that have made the whole thing work in the first place, and it will continue to be that. And that's not mentioned here. And the volunteers essentially, according to this, would have no ability to do anything, I wouldn't think, at least not to make decisions that need to be made, which we do all the time. It's true that over the years, we've gone on the basis that we didn't have a lot of things, and so we took everything people gave us. And the collection has got some things in it that on a longer term basis, we probably would deaccession. But we've only fairly recently gotten to the point, in recent years, to the point where we refuse very much because, we just can't store it. We have enough of what it is or whatever, It's really that's something that we've been wrestling with and dealing with a lot in recent years. But, and we had that with the clothing collection. We had some stuff that we decided to let go. And, but it wasn't, none of it was stuff that you can put up to auction and, expect to have a significant monetary return on. We did make them available in a public way and ask for contributions and receive some. But in most cases, those contributions are handled by the society because they're better equipped to handle it financially. We do have a contribution account in the town's business that's the commissions, and we can take contributions that way. But how you deal with stuff that's not of significant monetary value is a little different than...
Also, we can't solicit donations
Yes, we can.
As a commission.
Yeah. Into the donation account.
We can accept them, but we can't
Why not? Sure we
solicit
can.
them.
I don't think we can.
We can't?
I don't think so.
I mean,
I think that's that whole, when you do the ethics policy thing, that whole, getting donations for things, monetary donations is tough. It's your hands are tied with that pretty carefully.
If the money goes to the town, it's not coming into our pockets.
Right.
I think it's it's
But-
much safer to run it through the society than it is through the commission.
I thought we couldn't solicit.
I didn't think so either, but
But-
I just did the ethics thing, and there's a lot about
Yeah,
taking money.
It's a lot of gray, there's a big gray area.
Yeah, it's,
Well, yeah, but that's,
You think it's different?
if you're taking money from a party that's trying to get you to make a decision in their favor, yeah. But if somebody's making a contribution, if we want to work on some clothes and have them fixed up, and we ask for contributions, they could go into the donations account.
I think there's a difference between people coming voluntarily and us soliciting.
Yeah. Maybe donations, I know at 19 Carter, donations are, that's a pretty loose category and people, I mean,
Yeah, I think
it's
you had
accounted
said
for.
We can't solicit, and I think that that's correct. I think we can probably take stuff that's not, that's freely given, but I don't think that we can go out.
Maybe if we just call it a donation, it's okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
at any rate, we can check into that. I don't know why we couldn't say we're raising money to do this and ask money to be put in that account. But we can't demand it of people. I mean, we can't demand it of somebody that's trying to do something, wants to tear down something in order to get us to decide to let them, they give us money.
Yeah, well, that's,
And I was a little concerned the day that we went down and did checked out the Reese house. And Denny invited us over to the package store for a cold drink, tonic. But I said, this gets to be a little bit like being friendly to us when we're going to make a decision in their favor. And I mean, obviously the cost of a can of tonic is negligible.
Yeah.
But the point is, that's the point you need to keep in mind, is you have to make a government decision in regard to them, and they shouldn't be doing things for you, even though it's minor. And of course, in that case, the decision from our point of view was the town had already voted to change the zoning, which was going to completely obliterate all the stuff that was there and put in new stuff. So therefore, the public had already checked in on the idea that they didn't care about the historical part. And therefore, our visit was to carry out our responsibility under the bylaw, but not to, we didn't anticipate that there would be any reason that we would delay it.
okay. Ellie, do you have comments about the general comments or even specific ones?
I think, like Barry, it's a little frustrating to have our hands tied, but it's also kind of nice to have it clarified as to who's responsible for what. I mean, it's clearly saying that the town is going to provide storage, and that they're going to take responsibility for insuring it and the rest of it. But I think it's kind of the way of the future that.
Well, they're really stuck on the idea of the storage arrangements making storage arrangements outside the town property stuff, and I don't know.
Well,
I'll admit that we made a storage arrangement and we had no written agreement on it. But
However,
yeah,
we
they
also,
they put us
had
in a
no interest
position.
in helping us at that point.
at that point, there was no interest in helping us.
Well, I did ask Highway to move us, and they were really very good about,
They were very nice.
yeah.
But the town administrator knew about it.
I can't remember. I know there were times when I asked for help,
Yeah,
And you
Big-
told him no.
and yeah, at one point, Kristen, I think it was during her time, it definitely wasn't Margaret. So it must have been Kristen.
yeah,
I was told that we couldn't lean on any
yes.
other staff because they were too constrained. They didn't have,
I think
Yeah.
when we started to move the stuff out of the firehouse, they told us we couldn't have any help.
And then they finally did.
Well, we got Lisa and her husband, and then we had someone come over and open the door for us, but they didn't really haul stuff down.
from the fire department.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we were told the fire department was in charge of the building and they were the ones that would need to let us in and out.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we perfectly well understand we're in no position to get town staff to do significant things for us.
well, I
Unless we get it,
Yeah.
unless we do, normally we would arrange that through the administrator.
called Jeff the other day and he answered, which I was very grateful for. Because I couldn't stand the alarm. It was,
The alarm in the bullet house was
Yeah.
going off.
yeah. And it was, to me, it was deafening. And that might be a problem I have with noise.
Was it on and on? A big noise on and on?
It,
Or was it just
well,
going
it
once
was
in a while?
segmented, but it was very loud, louder than usual.
Okay,
And so he said he said, I'll send the fire department. And they did come. And then I had also called, before I realized I needed to call Jeff, or that I could call him, I called Fred, and he eventually came when he could. And he's the one, no, and he's going to submit a request to Norel
yeah,
to,
come and service
because
it.
the batteries, there's a battery issue and then there's another issue, which I have on my phone because he told me about it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we'll get some help for that eventually. It might take a while.
Well, that's any building, any town building that has a fire alarm issue, you're gonna talk to the fire department
Well,
or the building supervisor.
I should have called them long ago because that's been a problem for months.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think years.
I think years. And I would always say, can't we do something about this?
And they say, oh,
And
it's
so-
been looked at, but no one
So,
can figure out.
and
what's
nobody
wrong.
seemed to want to do anything about it, and so I let it go. But this time I had it, because
It's doing
I had
an
all,
occasional beep once in a while, and we're not using the building.
no, it wasn't occasional, it was constant. But it wasn't as deafening as it was on Monday. I mean, that's my experience.
Fine.
Yeah, whatever. They'll take care of it now, hopefully.
Norel charges an arm and a leg to come out and do anything. So therefore, if there isn't a really immediate need, and when there is one, obviously, but if there isn't an immediate need and it's not really causing a lot of trouble, and it's all right.
Well, there was
to
a
let it-
trouble signal.
Well, I guess the question is it working? I mean,
It doesn't, no.
Oh,
if you had a fire, would it let us know?
oh, yes, it will. Yeah.
How do you know?
I do know. I don't know, I do know, because I've discussed that previously with
Yeah,
alarm
but it sounds
people.
like this is a new problem.
Well, it was a
Well, this
Or a
new one-
different problem, I don't know.
If it's deafening, obviously, it's gotta be dealt with. And that may be a question about that, about whether it's effective. But if all it is a simple trouble, it can be all kinds of things that aren't significant, and it will still do the alarm. It
But
still will work as an
you
alarm.
can't really stay in there very long with that. I mean, because I had Marty come and help me open windows because they were gonna have a site visit And he did what I asked him to do, but he said, I can't stay here any longer. So,
It was making you cuckoo.
yeah, and, because
Well, yeah,
I stayed, but,
that would indicate that the alarm was going off as opposed to just being a trouble. If
Yeah.
it's making that much noise.
well, anyway, I had it. Well, by then I was hot, because I had opened the windows, and I did clean a little bit with the sills,
Yeah.
just so they wouldn't look so,
So ratty.
So
I haven't
ratty.
been there for a while.
yeah,
Was
well,
that thing sounding when you went in?
yes, yep. So,
When do we have a meeting with the select board to discuss?
the 31st. Because in the interval here, they'll have a new town administrator, and they wouldn't schedule us until that was accomplished, the initial orientation, or whatever you want to call it, with him. So they put it off till the 31st.
Okay.
So I think we should, we can write down whatever we've mentioned today as problems. And submit those on the 31st, or we could meet again if you want to. One of my problems is the words that are used. I know that I'm being, kind of focused on something that may not be that important to other people, but the use of the word materials, I found I didn't like the use of it,
Where,
because what does that mean?
Historical materials.
To me,
wait, what, artifacts?
an artifact is not a material. So I would like that word defined. And also the use of the word assets can mean different things. And either don't use that word, because our collection is made up of objects, all kinds of artifacts, our fixtures that we have to store them on, our supplies. Some of them are archival, some of them are not, because they're just for record keeping. And the word,
So the collection is more than assets.
yeah,
And I think the word asset is so amorphous. It's really,
it
a lot of these
sounds
things
like
don't
bonds and stocks or something.
yeah, they don't have a lot of, say, material value.
Well, material, any, property is asset. Property is, any kind of property is asset, just as much as money is asset, or stock is asset.
Well, you're right. I just want an understanding, or maybe some kind of definition of the use of those words, because it's a problem for me, let's put it that way. Maybe it's not a problem for anybody else, but. And the other thing I thought about was determining historical significance it's a subjective thing, and it's guided by,
Some of it is fairly easy and some of it's a little harder.
yeah, because
If you don't really understand the background of the town and the article itself, sometimes it's
Yeah.
kind of vague.
and you should not get rid of something without a better understanding.
Yeah,
Um,
because once it's gone, it's gone.
And this policy allows us to advise about historical significance, but I think it should be clear that
That the commission determines the significance?
it's really that we should be allowed to determine. They can appeal the determination, I suppose, but since.
I didn't catch that one.
Well, it's. The other thing on the very first page that I'd like to mention, and then we'll just go on because it's getting late, is under purpose, and then under policy is intended to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The seventh bullet is to reduce reliance on informal practices relating to town-owned historical materials. What does that mean? What's an informal practice?
Yeah.
I mean, if we understand that historical significance is subjective, and
And we recognize that volunteers and the public partnership are involved.
anyway, I think that needs to be called out.
Yeah.
I'll try to summarize before the 31st, and you guys,
I need to read it a little more carefully because I didn't catch that one.
yeah, and then if we need to, we could meet before then if you want to. I'll try to do it fairly soon.
I think we ought to have another meeting before that, yeah.
All right, well, we can, let's
last
do that
thing.
before we go, and let's see, it's 10 minutes of 11. Okay, we got some time here. All right. So I agree to try to summarize what we've put together as our commentary, and then we'll meet again. When do you, like the Friday before, or
Maybe the 29th,
that'd be
28th.
28th? Would that work for everybody?
What?
The Friday before that?
That'd be the August 28th.
Or do
Okay.
you want to meet sooner?
No, that's all right.
Okay. All right. Now, the next, let's see, the next important thing, I didn't print out the agenda. Would be the meeting at the Bullard House on Monday. I was asked to show up, and that's what I did.
Was that the,
She want that to
Yeah.
wait.
the 10th?
That was the 10th. I went there early so that I could open windows, and then as I've already talked to you about, we wrestled with the alarm problem. And then we met at 1 o'clock. That was Lisa from the select board, Dee Green, and Jeff, and a preservation architect from Westboro. His name is Jerry Sullivan. And there was a lot of initial discussion that didn't have to do with me, actually, or my ability to take him around, but had to do with what the interim admin and the select board member wanted to accomplish. And
So they were essentially giving him the orders.
that's right. That's right.
So he's gonna be their employee, not ours.
Yeah. I did
But
give.
they're gonna spend our money on him.
Well, that's a question I have. First of all, I did give him the National Register nomination, a hard copy, because that answered
Yeah,
the progression of little add-ons to the building much better than I could do myself and have him remember. He was, actually, when we went down into the cellar, he was, he wasn't that put off by our foundation. He said that the stones were much bigger than he would have expected, the actual foundation stones. And he paid attention to the basement. And then we went through the house. And I did my best to answer his questions. And then I promised to give him access to the Dropbox, which I did. And I'm pretty sure it went through properly because he didn't get back to me with any problems. And also Dee asked to be added on, so I added her on as well. So it's their project, but my question is, those articles give the Historical Commission oversight for spending the money. That's in the articles. So I think we need to say something about collaboration. I mean, for me not to be the point person is a kind of a relief because I'm not really up to it. But we have a preservation plan. I made a couple of statements or repetitions of the same statement, that the kind of background material we have is important, and we have done a lot of work through the years, and that should be taken into account. So, he's independent of all of that, but they don't really give us, the select board and the admin, who I say is, he's interim. They don't really give credit to the work that's been done before. They just see it as a languished project. It's a negative kind of feeling.
It just appears they want to inject themselves whenever they feel like it.
Well, any questions that I might be able to answer about their being there? Sometimes it's hard.
Kind of on the ancillary to this is, have we heard anything back about setting up a meeting with
Margle?
Dan and,
Well, I'm assuming that that Jeff bypassed that. I mean, we communicated that to Lisa, or I did, when she met with us in July.
yeah,
I said that's what Mark Pelletier from Mogul communicated to me, that he was going to set up a meeting with Dan Barton. But either that fell through and we weren't told, or Jeff bypassed that and didn't want to do that. I don't know.
Would Jeff have been likely to be involved with them without our knowing?
Well, I think so. I mean, I can ask Jeff about that. Perhaps I should.
because I thought that Mark had come back and said he'd like to have us meet with him and Dan.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that didn't happen. Instead, we had a site visit with an entirely new person, and he's very nice. And I think he'd be easy to work with if we're allowed to be part of the.
How do we find this guy?
We didn't. Jeff did.
Oh, Jeff did.
I had nothing to do with it.
Oh,
I was just asked to show up and give a site
Oh.
visit. Do you want any follow-up on this to go to the select board?
What was the outcome of the meeting? Was there a
He's
He's,
gonna do a
follow-up.
proposal.
he's actually going to, he's been at least verbally hired to do an assessment of the building that would complete the project.
Okay.
And, you know, I guess they'll work out some kind of a contract, because they're very, you know, they have to. And it didn't seem to me that, he didn't indicate that it would take a long time to do this.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we'll find out or not.
Well, I do think we need to make some sort of a statement that we would like to be informed along the way. If they are in charge of this project now, which they appear to be. I don't know whether that has to be in writing, or whether I should just tell Lisa if I see her.
Yeah, I guess it would be interesting to see how the new town administrator views it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the Barry has said that all along, that we need.
Yeah, I mean, I just think this has gone an awful long way with an interim guy. Somebody that's here temporarily and knows they're leaving it almost instantly.
But maybe they've done us a favor to introduce us to someone. I don't know.
Well, I think when you look at,
Imago had said they're not interested in doing anything
Right.
with the government anymore.
that's right.
So they would have to give
Yeah,
us,
they would just,
advise us as to someone who would be
you know,
willing to work with
I
us.
think it was a gesture on their part to make a transition.
But that also might relate back to when Dan was doing studies of this building. And he essentially laid out what the plan would be here. But then when it was a matter of actually proceeding to making final plans and bid specs and all that kind of stuff, he said they didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And we went and hired a different architect. But that may be because at that point it was turning into a public project and they didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
That's Margot a number of years ago.
yeah.
So maybe that is something that's been their way for quite a while.
There was one other piece to Mark Pelletier's call to me, and that was that they would be happy to refer us to someone
Yeah. Somebody else.
who would do a public project,
Yeah.
someone that they felt would understand
worthy,
it.
yeah.
So, and that was not this person as far as I know.
Yeah.
Because he didn't mention,
He didn't mention that.
yeah, they didn't connect any of that together.
Yeah,
The parking lot project has always been something that I would look to them to do. We'd have a part, we'd work with it, we'd be cooperative, but it's, for the two buildings, it's not the kind of thing that's historic preservation involved per se. And it's a practical project that I thought I would want them to do. The house is a different story, but
I made it clear that we practically stood on our heads to come up with something different from that.
oh yeah,
But their opinion of the ramp is negative, I would say, at least the people that were there. Not, well, even the architect, I guess, not knowing much about it.
they didn't like the big ramp, you mean?
Yeah. But I said, we spent money and a lot of effort and time trying to come up with something else that
Okay.
would work. And to go, and to revisit that again is not something I would want to do. Just, I mean, Dan came up with alternatives that weren't practical for our space. One was over the leach field, and there was
Going
hardly,
backing out into Route 62.
yeah. You know, I mean, he really went to extremes to try to come up
Yeah,
with.
oh, yeah.
And they just weren't as workable, really, they weren't as workable as the ramp. And, you know, whatever. Okay,
I'm wondering whether we need to go back to our preservation plan and do a revision of it based on use of the different spaces that we came up with dealing with Dan. Because that's what we see as the finished product. And this guy needs that. What he decides is the finished project maybe ought to be what we consider the finished product.
yeah. Could you work on that?
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Because it's really.
I'll take a look at it before we have the meeting late in the month.
Okay. It was revised in 2016. I think
Yeah.
that was the last time.
Yeah,
I don't know if you have a hard copy, but I could get you one if you need it.
I can email it to you,
And-
the current,
Okay.
I can email it
Yeah,
to you.
it's,
It's in my computer.
and it's in the Dropbox too, but there's so much in there, it's kind of hard
It's
to
hard to
scroll.
find things sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah. I tried to reorganize it once, but I'm not sure that was helpful. I could try it again. Anyway, all right, so we'll meet again.
Do you want to keep this?
Yeah, yeah. So we did talk a bit about the barn at 119 Sawyer Hill Road. And I think I did my best.
No. The hop house?
No,
No.
the barn,
The barn, the
the
Plastridge
Plash's
barn.
barn, we talked about that.
Oh, okay, yeah, the
Yeah,
Plastridge
yeah.
barn, yeah.
And we did that during the.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about that. Okay, the CPA reports, I don't know if you want to see those or not. But they're here.
There's nothing new on it, is it?
Well,
It's just a format, it's just a form.
the clothing collection is completed
Oh.
and the two for the Bullard House are in basis, I guess.
That's Article 22. That's what I wrote. And-
Yeah.
And this is Article 9. It says the same
same
thing,
thing.
You
but
didn't
it,
have to put the money that was returned and stuff?
well, I think I did that before.
Yeah,
Okay,
because it was listed on
This was-
Maureen's
Yeah.
her sheet,
spreadsheet
okay.
as
All right.
returning the 13th.
This CP3 is really kind of an abbreviated, much abbreviated from the one I did before, which was for June, for accounting.
Yeah, this is for, I think, the submission to the,
This goes
The
to your
state
coalition.
CPA, yeah.
This doesn't help.
I spent a lot of time writing 2 sentences, as usual.
I think you did a good job.
But I don't know what else to say.
No, that they've kind of put it on hold because they want to
You know.
revisit how they want to
How to,
work.
yeah. how-
I still think we should spend the money and get the foundation repointed. and have something accomplished for that and before we go asking for more money.
Well, I did say to, to the architect, I explained to him how we had to wait forever last year because of this drainage issue that would affect the whole area.
And then we had to wait for the, because they had rented out the town hall
Yeah,
to the movie company.
and, let's see, where am I going with that?
Well, why we haven't gotten it done.
Yeah, and that I said, isn't it, obvious to you that our foundation needs to be secured properly
Before
before we do anything else? And he said yes. So, I did,
Yeah.
I did speak up about that too.
We might be able to get support from him to do that.
Yeah. And the other thing, which I didn't mention, is that it appeared that they want to, instead of just returning all the CPA money that we have, which was suggested before, that they want to spend it, to accomplish his fee, which will be
Yeah.
20 or
Whatever,
30
yeah.
grand, and whatever can be applied to the,
Well, I think that you made the point, and I had agreed with, when Lisa was at the last meeting, that we didn't think that there was any way that the town would vote for enough money to do a comprehensive project.
well, she did say that it has to go through CPA somehow. I don't know how they would
But that
structure
still
that.
has to be voted,
Yeah, it still
Yeah.
has to be
and
voted.
I don't think it would be.
Yeah, well,
Well, I
I,
don't know about, if it was CPA money, I'm not, that, it might have a chance.
if
But
it's
I
structured,
don't know that we're ever gonna have enough CPA money to do it that
it
way.
would take, wouldn't it take, I mean, if it cost $1 million, how many years is that of CPA money?
Well,
It's 10 years, maybe?
I've written it down because I had asked, and I think I didn't, I probably can't find it. I don't remember how much is sitting, because we haven't spent a whole lot in the last couple of years.
Well, since we bought the Horseshoe Pond property, we have not spent big money out of there.
Well, but even
But
even
there's some
so,
things hanging,
there's when the funding comes in, there's a specific allocation to the historical commission
Yes,
that can't
Yes.
be spent for anybody else.
for historic
So-
preservation.
And then there's the big pot that can be used generally. So if there's money in the big pot, it can be
That's right.
allocated to one of the other groups, but it doesn't.
It also could be accommodated to this one.
Yeah, so I think a lot of times it gets used for conservation because those are the expensive projects.
Yeah,
But it doesn't mean that it couldn't be allocated. But the money that's allocated for the historical cannot be taken out and used for
And
anything
used for
else. It's
something else.
always gonna be allocated for
and
historical.
there should be some of that stored up at this point.
Well, that's what I'm saying, that, because we haven't spent a whole lot, I think there was 10,000 last year for the review of the steps, and then there was the collection. But prior to that, we haven't been spending anything,
We haven't asked,
because we haven't asked.
yeah.
And no one else has come up with the project. I think this last year,
Well,
they
she did
voted
the
on
clock.
the one for the clock.
Yeah, the clock, actually, I thought it was gonna be like 15 or 20 grand, but what was allocated, maybe they won't spend it all, it was like 44.
Well, I think that what Timothy has tried to get across to various people is that it's much easier to build in a buffer and then give the money back than it is to run out of funds and not be able to complete the project.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because then you're stuck.
yeah, then you gotta ask all over again.
Yeah, you've got to ask
It's
all
like the
over again.
bridge.
We'll find some other source of funding.
$100,000, but I don't know that that's.
Well, that.
Yeah, I can't find it, and we have a meeting next week. Oh, fiscal year 25, 129,000 was put in to the historical, but that doesn't give me,
And they,
what was not spent in prior years,
Yeah.
it's still being held.
yeah, because there was one year that, remember, I had to ask for a preservation restriction. Not that it was, that was to go with
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
grant, which we haven't applied for. So we have the capability of doing that if we need to. But this all leads to our, are we going to apply for CPA money for something in our collection or some other issue that we have?
Well-
I would like to.
Well, there's things that we need to, but I don't know who's got the time to get it straightened out.
Well, I'm,
We keep
If we-
having all these other things thrown at us, so I have to keep doing all these other things, so I don't.
I don't know, I think that, you
Well-
get a different crew that's interested in helping when you get
yeah,
some of these projects.
The paintings. The paintings. The two portraits from upstairs that need work, and maybe the third one. And
I thought we were talking about the clothing collection where the
Yeah.
Lynn Bassett had identified articles that should
Conservation.
the
be.
conservation work on the clothing.
And
That's
she
another
was
one.
providing some consultants that would
she did, yeah.
possibly be,
She gave us a
Yeah.
list and she told me the one that she uses,
We worked on a list, but we haven't done more on it. We haven't got that.
well, I think we should ask for something to follow up. I mean, I'm
And what do
willing,
we have to do this by?
October,
November.
yeah,
I think it's October 31st.
October.
Because I think our November 1st meeting was canceled because it's election day,
Oh,
I think.
Well, what-
It can't be the first, but it can be the second.
Well, whatever that Tuesday is.
Oh, it is a Tuesday, okay.
Our meetings are
Yeah.
Tuesday night and
Okay,
that's a,
so it's
so I
election.
think Maureen backed up the deadline to October 31st.
okay. Well, what I can
I'm not
do
positive.
is, I can write to the person that Lynn recommends or has worked with a lot. I can write to her and ask her and tell her what we've accomplished, just briefly, and what is entailed in getting in her and getting her to do some conservation. Would she come and look at a few things?
And get a ballpark figure for money.
Right, and based on 2 or 3 garments, what it would cost, because we have to have a
Or
budget.
5 or 6.
Yeah, so I'll do that if you want me to.
I think that would be great.
I mean, I think that we,
Well, it builds on what we did before.
yeah, okay,
And it's, we're talking about things that have some real value, historically and even perhaps monetarily. And it's worth spending a little money on them and having them in good shape.
okay,
And it doesn't exhaust all the work like that should be done, but it'll be a step forward.
yeah.
Well,
Okay, and
I
you-
think that we have an overwhelming amount of stuff that really needs to be looked at, but if we've already got
They
some
were-
identified things, I think it'd be great to
Yeah.
just,
Barry spent some time when we were together one day prioritizing
A few things.
of the items
Some
that
restoration.
would come to the top of that
Yeah.
list.
Yeah. I
So-
don't know where that list went. We'll look for it. It's out there somewhere.
Well, it should be with the,
Should be in the book.
yeah. Because I should have made a copy well, I will look for that. I'll look for that this
So this
week.
is clothing preservation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
conservation
conservation.
of,
Mending,
Repair
fixing,
and
putting back the way it should have
conservation,
been.
Repair and conservation.
Yeah.
okay, now the Hop House,
How many people do you expect?
well, usually we don't get more than, well, it depends on what it is, like the train stuff, you know, it's a huge crowd, but they won't come for
Yeah, but
this.
how many? I was trying to figure out for
Tea
how
time.
much food I need to bring.
Oh.
Yeah, well, maybe for 20 people. That's
That's on
That's a
Monday.
maximum, yeah,
Yeah.
that's Monday. And I've, basically I have photographs that will be shown, and, you know, I can comment, anybody can comment. I mean, it's really a very informal thing, because I'm not a lecturer. Anyway, we can start out with just, you know, I'll just start out with a couple of sentences, and then I'll show the pictures, and they'll be projected. So they'll be fun to look at. There's a
I
lot of,
think the question always is, does anybody recognize this building?
yeah, yeah.
Or do you just drive by it and totally ignore it?
Yeah.
It's something really
Well,
special.
yeah, and I think my first comment is to give credit to Bill Wheeler, because he's the one that took me there, and said, you know, what about this?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out, we knew about it years ago, and I'm still trying to figure out why on earth we didn't put it in the building survey in 1969.
Well, I don't.
68 and
I
69.
don't, you know, from looking at other inventories, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of attention, like in, I just gave Lorraine and Larry the inventory for their building when I saw them yesterday.
Oh,
I can never remember their last names.
I don't know.
Lorraine DeFranco, I know that.
for
but
the low, for
yeah.
the low house?
Yeah. And,
There's
but,
not much of
what
it
I'm,
left
yeah,
now.
the upshot is the barn isn't part of that inventory either.
No,
So I think less attention at that time was paid to the outbuildings.
yes, except that the hop house was, we knew about that. I just still can't believe that we didn't have it in it, but we must have left it off to do separately and never did it, I guess.
I still haven't heard, I haven't had any acknowledgement of the receipt of what we submitted for the Hop House.
Well, it's the summer.
Yeah,
Have you had a chance to call them to ask about that yet?
I sent a message to
The
the person who asks for an update on our membership,
yeah.
on our commission membership, because I figured, well, I could send a message to, I'll see if there's somebody that's focused on Macris. Or just call up and say, who should I be asking about this? Maybe I'll do that. But I guess I'll do it Monday, because today's
Today's
not a good day to
Friday
do that.
afternoon in the summer.
They're not
And
you're
I
gonna
don't
gonna
think
get
we
much.
wrote a number on that either. We should have numbered it for it when, I didn't think about it.
What do you mean, as a,
A macros number. I mean, the numbers that, we numbered all that stuff when we took it in there.
yeah,
And at the end of each street, we left some numbers that we didn't use, because if we got other things on that street, we'd be able to put them in.
well, the way it was submitted, it's really part of,
130,
yeah, that's how I.
part of 36.
There's an area letter, and then there's a building number. That's what you're referring to.
Area letter?
It's, the area for South Berlin
That's,
is E.
I didn't know that area went that far up. I didn't think it did. Thought it ended by the cemetery.
Oh, the village.
Yeah, the village.
Well, you're right. I'm
Yeah,
just saying that 36 Sawyer Hill Road has a number. that was
Yes, it
assigned to
does.
And the hop house,
Oh, you're putting it in as an addition to that?
yeah, but
Oh,
it's on a
that's all right.
structure form, it's not on a
Yeah, well,
a building form. Because it has a kiln, it was my understanding of the nomenclature, or whatever you want to call it, is that it's a structure.
oh,
And it's a different form. I mean, it's like the other forms
Yeah.
substantially, but it's a little bit different. Form F. Anyway,
oh well.
so yeah, maybe 20, but that's really
Okay.
stretching it. I think it's more like 10.
No, well, that's fine. I just didn't know how much to bring.
Yeah. And I asked Barry to read the interview that was done with Henry Wheeler in the 30s.
Well, it was a talk that Henry Wheeler supposedly gave or wrote, it was given at the library in the 30s.
Yeah, well, see, I don't know. It's good to ask you to do it because I didn't even know that. I thought it was just an interview that someone,
Oh, no, it was a paper that was given as a program. When they first built the library and they had the lecture room downstairs, they had a series of lectures. And the library people found this series of papers, 5, 6, 8, maybe there's 12, I don't know, but there's a number of them. And given by various people. And I don't know whether he went in and read it himself or whether it was one they had and somebody else read it how they did it. But it was in this group of papers that they found in the library building and handed to us at one point. And it's like, oh,
yeah,
because, I mean, some of them, there isn't a lot to them, but some of them are wonderful.
Yeah.
And that one is particularly wonderful because it talks all about the hop culture, how they went, the processes of what they went
Yeah.
through and how they did it, as well as the use of the kiln and the barn.
Yeah.
yeah. So do you have a copy or you want me to, I didn't bring a copy
Well, there's
today.
copies over here.
Yeah, I'll make sure there's one for people to look at too.
We'll pull out.
Yeah,
This
It's at
is this
2
Monday?
o'clock.
2 o'clock.
This is this Monday, right?
Yeah,
So I'll go out and look when we leave here. Remind me to go out. I can grab one out of the.
okay.
I think there's 2 or 3 copies of it in different files, one under Henry Wheeler and one under the place and so forth.
I
Well,
have,
at various points, we had multiple copies, so I said, well, we'll file them in different places, so if we're looking for it, we'll find it in one of them.
it's also, Lucy transcribed it and it's also,
It's up online.
that's online, yeah. And I already told you that Eric Strait, who works with Dee, I guess, he's an assistant.
He's gonna fix the.
He omitted, he unpublished is the right word, I guess, the accessioning information that she
Yeah.
had up there. And he corrected the membership. And Dee said he could do more. So I sent him all the other changes that we came up with, and he'll get to them maybe sometime.
Yeah. But the critical ones are done.
Yeah, those two were, yeah,
Those 2 are very important.
yeah.
But it's also very important to fill the spots in the commission. There's a lot of things to do, and if we had a couple of more people, they might do some of it.
Yeah, well, I think we can get Lee to do things, but he doesn't want to be a commission member. So,
Well, try an assignment, see if you will.
okay. Yeah,
I mean, I found him willing to come and consult with me on something, talk about it and look it over but I don't see him wanting to do much other than that.
do you want him to talk to you about the preservation plan? He might like to do that, that's his,
I might be able to get him to look at that with us. I'll think about that.
all right. I think I'll see him tomorrow, maybe. It's tomorrow, yeah, Saturday.
Tomorrow is Saturday.
I could give him a copy of the old one. And then if you,
Let me deal with him on it.
all right, but he would be a good person to.
Yeah. Oh,
if-
yeah.
And that, even if you just tell him what you want to change,
I think he was still on the commission when we did that, but I could be, when we wrote the first one, but I'm not sure.
yeah.
I could be wrong.
If you just tell him what you want to add or change, he
Mm-hmm.
would do that for you. Then that relieves you of, you know, the
Well, no, it has to be revised and then we have to
vote.
vote to approve it.
Well, you can always say pending,
Yeah,
because I'm sure that we'll,
Draft.
yeah, you know more about it than I do, for sure.
but he also is not at all up to date on all the stuff we did with Dan.
No,
And some of that is exactly what we need to change.
but it might be good to include him
Oh, yeah.
in
Yeah.
updating him, because he is
Yeah.
a trained architect, and he will help us mull over things that he
That we
has,
don't have
he has
much-
the background
Yeah,
for.
we don't have much
I
of
just have to have a
that.
couple of extra hours because he'll want to talk about cutting toenails and 20 other things.
Okay, so there's one more thing on here, which is a tender subject.
What's that?
Tender subject.
Yeah, I think there's just one more thing. I do want to have a little caning workshop,
What?
a caning workshop with the person that I met with. Her name is Elaine Blake.
I don't know what you're talking about at all yet.
Chair caning. She
Chair.
wants to have a little workshop.
A workshop about
Chair caning.
chair caning.
Right. I don't think it would be, she can only deal with about 4 to 6 people anyway. And it's not likely that we would get more.
Why is this a tender subject?
Well, I think involving chairs was, something in addition to what we already had to do. And so you weren't too happy at first about it.
There's
But now you've
nothing
given up
wrong
on
with
me,
doing
given-
something like that. I don't know how much you're gonna get, but you might get somebody that's doing somebody more that would do it.
Yeah, well, she doesn't charge anything for doing it, but we would have to,
Get some materials.
we would have to get some materials, and
Well, it's
she can let me know, based on what we want her to use to demonstrate from our collection, she can let me know what that would cost. How much did your stuff cost?
well, what I ordered was a half of a bunch, and it was about $50.
How much?
About 50.
50?
So it
But
could be
you
a
know, the
couple.
more you buy,
Oh,
the
yes.
larger,
It shrinks,
the
but-
cheaper it is.
Oh.
But you have to
No.
match the size of cane to the specific chair. So you can't buy a whole bunch of one size and use it for everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think you see the little rocker over there. It's very, very fine,
Yeah.
as opposed to what I'm using here, which is fatter.
Yeah.
Well, she may have a stock, and she would just assign a
Yeah, and
materials
it-
cost.
You can order it. The place I order from is down in Connecticut, so it's not. It doesn't take very long for it to come.
The piece that I need to know about is, are you having a society meeting at the end of September, or is it not
We
until?
do not have one arranged yet, but either in September or October we'll have one.
Let's see, I know you have some interest in being with us.
Sure.
So, do you have like a time when it would not be good at all, or,
Not that I know of.
yeah? And do you have a day of the week that's promised to somebody else, usually? No. Okay, so we have some flexibility.
I'm not picking down at the farm right now, so I don't, you know.
Fall
it's-
raspberries haven't happened, or?
Yeah, they're just kind of poking along.
Yeah.
But he still has kids, and I'm very happy to let the kids do what they want.
Yeah.
After school starts, then he loses all of his young kids' help. So
Yeah, which is pretty soon.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think most of them. I think they were saying that it started. Their school starts around the 25th
Of August.
of August.
Wow.
I remember we always started right after Labor Day, but now they start like a week.
We start a
Okay,
week
yeah.
before it, and the reason why is because June is useless. Once you hit the 1st of June, you get nothing done. And 3 or 4 days in the end of August and starting the year, I'm fine, you have good school days.
Well, but they're saying that the school day it goes further into June, and it's starting in August. So it's like, ooh, I don't know.
It still is, are they gonna up the number of days?
That's what I was wondering if the
I
number
thought I
of
heard
days
something about
is
that.
more.
Well, the bigger thing is that they now have more days out during the year for professional development days and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's it.
And so, you know, you take 3 more days out and then you're 3 more days on the end. And, but it actually started when I was still teaching, that they started doing the end of August. And you got in 3 or 4 days in August before Labor Day. And I thought it was terrible when it started, but the thing is, the kids came in and you started school and they were good school days. And by the time you got to Labor Day, you really were already underway as
Yeah.
opposed to just starting out. Everything after the 1st of June is like pulling teeth to accomplish much at all. It just is very hard. I mean, nobody wants to do anything. And so it's very hard to get good concentration and good effort and to present another subject or a new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not in school anymore.
Yeah. I can't, I don't have the energy. So,
I think you would. I mean, not to be a teacher, but to be a student.
yeah, well, do like to learn things, that's for sure.
I don't think you ever turned that one off.
Yeah, that's right. Well, is there anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Well, we're doing good, 11:35.
Move to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.